making me shiver. He looked brightened, like he was illuminated with light. Looking over my shoulder at his brother, I saw the peace on his face, but he was also brightened. They looked happy. I am happy, Evan said, reading my mind. I forgot about that. Now we were completely mated. We are able to speak using our minds. Well, that's going to take some time to get used to. Just then, my stomach grumbled. Placing a kiss on the still sleeping Edwin's cheek, he stirred. When his eyes opened, I fell in love with the green. He grabbed my cheek gently and placed a kiss on my sore lips, smiling into the kiss. Morning beautiful, he said in a husky voice, giving me shivers while I blushed. My stomach argued again, making them chuckle, and my cheek ablaze. I got up and slid over Evan to get to the bathroom to freshen up. I was still naked after last night's activities, but I was confident in my body. Swaying my hips just to hear them groan was the sexiest sound. I cast a look over my shoulder, looking back at them, tightly gripping the bed sheets frozen. You coming? I might need someone to reach my back. They were next to me within an instant. I giggled, but it was no joke, and walked into the bathroom with them on my tail. That was the best shower I've ever had, also the longest. But every second of it was beautiful. The experience was pleasurable and took me to oblivion. Remembering what we did made me blush badly. Our marks and tattoo spirals had not changed, but I got one. Well, they marked me, right on my neck. It was still tender, and when they kissed it, it made me shiver in delight. If anyone tried to touch it, it would feel revolting. They took my hands and led me out of the bathroom. Nothing covering my body. They dressed me like they did yesterday morning. When I was dressed as well as them, they took my hand and led me through the castle for brunch. We had missed breakfast. Food was waiting for us when we entered. When are we heading home? I asked them. I wanted to go to Greenville so badly this evening. We will be going back with our sister, Evan said. I could not help but feel happy. I was going to be home. With my mates, no place I would rather be. It would be a busy week when we go back. I must warn you, it's going to take a while to get used to, Edwin said. What do you mean? I asked, confused. Evan and Edwin both put down their forks and knives and focused on me, their face serious. We are going to be kings, Chameleia. Since we have mated, our father will pass down the crown to us. You will be our queen, Evan said, smiling at the thought. But I don't know how to be a queen. I said, self-doubt running through me. I excused myself from the table and ran to my mother. The looks of the faces looked worried, but they allowed me to go. Through the like, I felt the worries. I need to see my mother. I sent them through the link. Walking through the castle, I found my mom in the lounge, by herself watching something on the television. I sensed her this time. Good morning, Mum. I need to speak with you, I told her, walking towards her to take a seat. She turned off the TV and looked at me. For a while, that's all she did before she gasped. You've mated, she said, holding me and kissing my cheeks, that was smiling, with perfect teeth at me. Then her smile faded. And you've changed. Why do you feel scared? We all have faith in you. She read me like a book. But Mum, this is the whole world. I know, darling. I had my doubts about myself. Don't worry. When you get to Greenville, the Queen would help you out. She is a great friend of mine. I visit her sometimes when the work is less. She will help you transition. Just remember, you were born a princess. It is your destiny to be mated with princes. You were born with the ability to rule. You just need help and confidence to see them, she said with a smile. I started to smile too. Thank you. I'm going to miss you, Mum, I said. I will visit you, and you will be able to visit me. You can still call me whenever you want. I am not going anywhere, she said reassuringly. I kissed her cheek and went to find my mates. Thank you, Mum, I said, walking out of the room. I went along finding my mates. They were in our room, so that is where I went. When I entered, Evan on the phone, looking out the window. He was talking business. Edwin was on the bed with his laptop near him. When he looked up to meet my eyes, he smiled, put his laptop to one side, and opened his arms for me. I complied and went to him feeling ashamed for leaving them both. He wrapped his arms around me after pulling me into his lap. He stroked my hair and hummed a tune to me. I lifted my head from his chest, grabbed his hair so that his face was leveled with mine, and kissed his lips. He responded immediately and moaned while smiling into the kiss. I love you, he said huskily when I pulled out of the kiss. I love you too, I told him with a smile. I needed to see Patty before I left. I needed to spend some time with her. Evan was still on the phone. When he hung up, he turned around to face me. He opened his arms for me, and Edwin released to me to go to him. When I did, I wrapped his arms around his neck and wrapped my legs around his toned frame, my face buried in the crook of his neck, breathing his scent in. He sent me waves of love through the link, which made my heart warm. "Go see your friend, my love," he said, the soft, gentle words rolling off his tongue. He let me to my feet, took my head in his soft hands, and kissed me, which I could not do anything but respond to. My legs went weak, and he held me up stable. Pulling out of the kiss, he kissed my forehead tenderly. He released me so that I could go and find Patty. Trying to find her? I couldn't anywhere, so I tried to follow the familiar smell. She was in garden with her mates. She was looking into lying down across them, while Bob passed his fingers through her hair, and Ben kissed her fingertips. It was an awe moment that would take an amazing photo. I cleared my throat, and they all snapped up to watch who interrupted. When Patty saw me, she smiled. "I still cannot fathom the fact that you mate with my brothers," I told her. "I still cannot fathom the fact that you are my mate's sister," she said with a smirk making me laugh. "Good morning, Bob Ben," I said with a smile looking at my brothers. "Hey sis." They both said in sync, making me smile. "Can I borrow my friend for a few hours?" I asked them. They looked at me with puppy dog eyes. "Please, I need to spend some time with her before I go." "When you leaving?" Patty asked, sitting up, with a sad look on her face. "This evening, we are leaving the same time as Kath." "Talking about her, do you know where she is?" I asked. "Oh no, we need to bond before that." "Yeah, she went to the town to shop for clothes and shiz." "I can't believe you are going tonight," she said, sticking her bottom lip out. "Well, we are wasting time," I said. "Please, can I have her?" I asked with a puppy dog look aimed at my brothers. Obviously, they had a hard time letting her go after they just found her. "Fine," they said together. She gave them a kiss on the cheek and came over to me, linked hands, and dragged me back to the room she slept in. She started undressing. I looked around the room and noticed it was my brother's. When I looked back at her, she was changed out of her home clothes and dressed to go out. "You're taking me to lunch," she said. "Well, more like ordered." That's what I liked about her. She never went around the block, and she just said what is on her mind. "Fine, I need to dress too. Meet you at the door in 5, I told her, walking out. Going to the room, I saw that they were still busy. They looked so concentrated on what they were doing, and it looked important. "I'm going to the city to have late lunch with Patty," I told them. They looked up with a worried look on their faces. "You need someone to go with you guys," Evan said. "We'll be fine." I reassured them, though it didn't help much. "Your fathers took you away from the hunters. They can find you if you go out," Edwin said. Both of them were now standing in front of me. "Okay, can you send a guard with us then?" I asked with a bit of hope. Edwin negotiated. "At least I would feel safer without their presence this way." "Dear," I said, "I'm going to dress," I told them, signaling the end of the conversation. I went into the walk-in closet. Most of the things were new, and I didn't have a chance to wear them. Black trousers, skin tight, and I wore a top with a collar, because I love that trend. I finished it up with some heeled boots with some studs at the back. I applied some red lipstick, and I was ready to go. Walking out of the walk-in wardrobe, I looked at the watch on my bare wrist. "Guys, what time is it?" I asked my mates. Their eyes were focused on the screen. When they looked up, they looked back at the clocks on their watch. 2000, they said huskily, in sync. Good. I was on time. When I looked back at them, they were still looking intently at me. I went up and placed a kiss on both their cheeks, then went to the vanity table and took my perfume and sprayed a bit. "Bye. I'll call you if I need you," I told them with a smile. "Have fun," they said in sync, still in a husky voice. I nearly stayed, but ran out just to keep me from doing so. Having them chuckled at me. I walked around for some time. The place was that big to get to the door. I saw them both guards and smiled at them. Patty kissed both of Ben and Bob on the cheeks and said bye. They were so cute. Well, I was wondering, who do they care most, me or Patty? "Common guys, 3 hours at the most," I told them with a smirk. Patty took my hand and pulled me through the door. I saw one guard and the chauffeur at the car door. I guess Ben wanted another guard. There was 3 cars, all black, and the one in the middle was ours. We went inside. The guard joined the chauffeur at the front. The 2 guards at the door took the car in the front, and the other took the one at the back. They did not say a word. Patty, being where to go, told the driver. We went to a beautiful small restaurant. We talked the whole way there. "This is where my family always come when we come here," she said. "I like it," I said with a smile. "So, what is your family going to do?" "You cannot go home, away from your mates." I asked once we were seated. They may move here with me and buy a house down here. Or I will move and visit them often, she said. How are you going to cope? She asked. I don't know. I want to meet my family at Greenville, but I will miss my mother and father, especially after just meeting them. I mean, I am leaving tonight, that's soon, but I really want to go. I'm happy, I can visit my family, and they can visit me. That's all I want. I told her in a small rant. Well, I'm going to miss you. So are your brothers, even though they would not say it. Well, Bob would. He is more open, she said. I could not help but agree more. You know them so well, and it's been less than a day. I told her, laughing. So do you. What's their favorite color? She tested me. Blue, I said without thinking. She started laughing at me. What? It's the color of my eyes, I said, blushing, making her laugh even more. She calmed down after a while. The guards were out of sight, blending in the calm restaurant atmosphere. We ate, and when we were finished, we took a walk around the city. I'm going to enjoy living here, she said with a smile on her face. I loved my best friend Happy. I hope you do, I told her with a smile. You have to tell me what Greenville is like, though. Call me whenever you get a chance, she said, dragging me into a shop with beautiful dresses. I promise I will. You're my best friend, I told her. She was the only person I had ever called that, and it was so true. She was the only person I trusted in my former life. Good. Now this will look great on you, she said, pulling out a dress for me after she'd done the same for her. We both went into the changing rooms, the guards just outside, waiting for us silently. We went into the same changing rooms. She zipped me up. The dress was nice and complimented my curves. I looked at her. She looked good. Do you think I should wear this on my first date tomorrow? She asked. What? Date? Since when? Yes, you should wear it. Call me and tell me how it goes. I said, unhappy that I was going to miss her first date with the brothers. She laughed at my reaction. Yes, they asked to take me out. They would have tonight, but you were leaving, and we wanted to see you go. Thank you, I said, dressing back. I put the dress back on the hanger, just when we heard some noisy from the crowd. I poked my head out, pulling the curtain of the changing room a bit to see what was happening. One of our guards coming to us saying, Princess Leia, please go with me. It's not safe here. Huh. I followed him with Patty in hand, back to our car, seeing a guy got pinned to the ground by 2 guards, seemed passed out already. A scout from the hunters. The guard which leading us opened the door of the car for us and showed us in. No worry, our men will take care of the rest. It was first time I've seen a hunter this close. My mates was waiting at the gate. Surely they got the news from our guards. They hugged me, and both placed a soft kiss to my cheek to reassure me. You are safe now. But we should go, once you are ready, Edwin said gently. I want to hug them a bit longer, but I know I must be quick now. I got dressed in comfortable clothes, yet sophisticated. Everything was ready for us to leave. I hugged Patty. Me, she told me with a stern face, which had me smiling. Tell your mum and dad I said bye. I told her, she nodded. Then I went on to hug my brothers. Take care of her, I told them, giving them a group hug, just us 3 siblings. We're going to miss you, Bob said. I pulled back. I knew Ben was saying the same thing, but only with his eyes. They gave me a kiss on my cheeks. We will be here when you visit, Ben said with a smile, which had me smiling. I went to hug my mother. She had tears in her eyes. One fell. She pulled me in the hug and did so tightly. She then gave me a kiss on each cheek. Love you, baby girl. Be safe, she said, smiling. Love you too, Mum, I told her, smiling. I went to my father. He pulled me into a hug. I'm going to miss him after finding him, after we just reunited. Take care, Chameleia. I'm going to miss you, he whispered. He released, and I saw a gently smile on his face. Then it turned stern, and he turned to my mates and said, You better take care of her properly. I looked at them, and they nodded. I took a step back and looked at everyone. I hated goodbyes. My mates shook hands with my brothers and my father, and hugged Patty and my mother. I smiled at the exchanges going on. Inshore, going to miss this place? I can't wait to come back. We exited the house into the car with Kath. I took my mate's hand. Evan started to pass his hands softly through my hair, while Edwin kissed my knuckles and my fingertips softly, silently telling me it was going to be all right. Chapter 14. All I know is we were on a plane. It was warm, and my head was on my mate's shoulder. I didn't want the moment to be ruined, so I kept my eyes closed. All I remember is getting into a car and waving goodbye to my friends. I vaguely remember being carried from one place to another. They may move me from limo to planes. I opened my eyes and looked at the people next to me. Edwin on one side, my head resting on Evan's shoulder. They are all reading books, which is my favorite thing to do. Do you have a spare? I asked them. They both looked at me from their book. They were so caught up that they did not realize I was awake. I looked around and noticed that there was no one around us. Where is everyone? I asked, voicing my thoughts. What do you mean? Evan asked. We are on the plane, right? I asked, confused. Yes, the private plane. Edwin said, understanding what I meant. I was shocked. Private plane? You have a plane? I asked. I think my mouth was still hanging open, while I was stating the obvious, while they were laughing at me expense. I closed my mouth. I could not wait to reach. Here's a book, Evan said, handing me one from the many he had on the plane. I did not know they liked to read. Thank you. How long have we got till we reach? I asked. About 2 hours, Evan said. Edwin was back to his book. I placed my head back on Evan's shoulder and got into the book. I have 5 minutes before we land, and I used that time to see the United States. It was my first time out of England, and I liked what I saw. The sun had just risen. The lighting is beautiful. Edwin told me we were going to land directly in Greenville. It was green, but there were beautiful houses everywhere. It's a mix of nature, but to live in is nice. It has a natural, homey feel. Beautiful, isn't it? Kath said, coming behind me. Yeah, is there any place to shop nearby? I need to buy clothes. My English clothes would be suitable. Yeah, there is lots of places to shop. And you got New York, which we can fly in anytime. I will take you if you want, she said with a glint in her eye. You could tell that she wanted a sister. That would be good, I said, smiling. Are you nervous? She asked me. What about? So what about you are going to meet the king and queen of the werewolf world? Are you not scared? She asked. And that is when it hit me. My cool demeanor changed. My mate sensed it and came to the window where I was standing. They both touched me, but it would not help as much as their comforting words this time. What's wrong? They both asked in calm voices. Please take your seats. The plane is coming in for landing. We heard. They both took my hand and led me back to my seat, tucking me in the process. Don't worry, babe, it would be fine. Everyone would love you, Edwin said, kissing me on the cheek. What about your parents? They are not everyone, I whispered, shaken. They are going to love you. Where is the confident Leah gone? Evan asked, putting his hand under my chin, lifting my lips to his soft ones. It was a soft, gentle, reassuring one. What is wrong with me? I was more of the confident one. Evan released me from his spell and I smiled at them. We landed by now. I just could not feel anything stuck in my world. Kath was looking at me with a guilty look on her face. It made me laugh, which brought a shocked look to her face. Sorry for freaking out, I told her a bit shyly. Sorry for making you almost have a panic attack. Don't worry, my father and mother would love you. I just can't wait to get back to my mate, she said happily at the end, which made me laugh again. I unfastened my seatbelt. Stand up and stretch. I stopped as I looked out the window, the sun just rising over the horizon, but it was the people outside the plane that caught my attention. There are reporters everywhere. What is going on? I asked, directing my question at Edwin and Evan. Well, everyone in Greenville knows that we were gone for a while. They did not know what we were going to be doing while we were away. Now we're back. They are interested in the Princess of England we have brought back. They saw we were together at your father's coronation and was wondering why you are here. Evan said. So, you mean to tell me they are here for me? I asked. No, us, Edwin told me. I felt relief, knowing they were not all going to be focusing on me. And me, Kath said, spoiling the moment a bit, leaving me laughing at her, and the guys shaking their head. And you, Princess Kath, Edwin said, making his sister smile. We exited the plane to see flashes everywhere. And I thought this city was going to be small. It was like a second London, just with more trees, and known for its green lands. Evan and Edwin was holding my hand firmly in theirs, and guards were surrounding us out into the limo on the airstrip. How's the trip, Prince? Who is she? Is this England's king, newly found daughter? What is going on here? Are you dating? Princess Catherine, how do you feel about England? Do you have anything to say? Is that Princess Chameleia? The reporters were going wild. I did not say a word, and neither did Evan and Edwin. I was smiling everyone's question. Kath was waving to them with a smile, like she's been doing it all her life, which she had, Kath went into the limo and then went Evan, who held his hand out for me, and Edwin followed. The limo started moving, and I heard Kath screaming. Frightened, I looked up and saw a boy there. Evan and Edwin sensed no danger, but their faces were confused. Then we saw her kissing him. Then I was confused. Leah, this is Luke, my mate. He is also my brother's beater. Nice to meet you, Luke, I said, leaning over to shake his hands. Same to you, Princess Leah, Luke said. He seemed nice. I guess that's why they were friends with him. He seemed like an approachable guy and a good friend. He need tell us all the story when we get back home, Edwin said to both Kath and Luke with protective tone. When I looked up, we arrived at the castle, my new house. It was triple the size of the one in England. It was more grand and well designed. Some of the pack members lived here, others all over. It was a beautiful place. Everything looked new and well cleaned. There were statues all over the grass. The limo was getting closer and closer to the entrance. It would take long to get around this place, and longer to get my head around it. There were trees nearby. Edwin got out of the limo and then held his hand out for me. I'm guessing he would forget about his sister for the time being. The first thing I realized was the natural air that flowed through my lungs. There was no pollution. Everything was so refreshing and different from England. I loved my past week in England, but this is where I am now. When everyone was out of the limo, Evan and Edwin took my hand. This was like going to meet my father. We walked around to go meet the study. The maids everywhere were happy to see my mates back. I guess it has been a while. Do I look fine? I asked just before a door labelled Alpha. I guess we were going to see their father and mother. I had changed on the plane and freshened up. You look beautiful, Evan said. Edwin kissed me gently on the lips and turned the handle. The first thing I realised was the beautiful woman standing in front of me next to her husband. She looks quite like Kath. She was wearing a long dress that dragged to the floor but held her tight. And next to her was a strong man, yes. That's how I described the king, with broad shoulders just a few inches shorter than my mates. His eyes were black and his wife's were green. And these were the eyes of the boys and Kath came from. The lady smiled tenderly, but the king's face was expressionless. Hello, my name is Amanda, and this is my husband Raymond. Welcome to Greenville. Chapter 15. I bowed my head and curtsied to the king and queen. Their presence told me I was standing in the midst of powerful and influential people. The king still had an emotionless look on his face, while the queen looked at me with a welcoming smile. Hello, father, mother. I watched Edwin kissed his mother's cheek, and Evan shook his father's hand. Then Edwin shook his father's hand, and Evan kissed the opposite cheek of his mother. I was still standing before them, watching the strange exchange. Amanda came to me and embraced me into a hug. I stood shocked for a while, but then hugged her back. Come with me, I'll show you around your new home, Amanda said. Ah, nice to have you back, boys, she said to her sons while pulling me out of the room. I looked back to see them smiling at me reassuringly, and I smiled back. We went out of the Alpha's office. It's nice to meet you. I wish to have met you a few days ago when your father got crowned, but me and my husband could not make it. She told me we were walking arm in arm. Same to you. The anticipation of coming here was drowning me. I could not wait to come to Greenville. It's so different here. I told her with a smile, which she returned. We would have to welcome you into the pack soon. Everyone in Greenville and around the world wants to know who you are. They already know you are the daughter of the King of England, but they do not know why you are here. It will be very public. The celebration will be of me and Ray leaving the throne and Evan and Edwin taking it, as well as them finding their mate. It will be an extraordinary celebration. Well, until the wedding, she told me. My cheeks reddened, but I did not reply to that thought. When will this all take place? I asked her. This is the kitchen. I gasped. It was massive, and there were chefs everywhere, as if preparing for a big event. It will take place tomorrow, by God's grace, she told me, making me gasp. That's why we could not make it to your father's coronation. We were preparing the day when we got the phone call from our sons. Don't worry, everything will be sorted by then. Your family is going to arrive in the morning. I think your mother will stay a while after to help you transition into your role. I was shocked, she noticed, and looked my hands into hers. I know it sounds overwhelming, but I will be here to help you every step of the way. You have not had training yet, but you were born to be the queen. You have it in your blood, as well as the blood of a princess. You carry yourself well. I will help you whenever you need it, she told me, and then embraced me in a much-needed hug. They should be done talking now. Sorry about Raymond. He may take a while to warm up, she said with a smile. She looked so in love with him. I took a deep breath. Let's go then, I said with a smile that reassured her I was all right. When we entered the room, the three men were laughing. The happiness shone through their eyes. I looked at Amanda and noticed that she saw the same thing I did. The coldness of the room was no longer there. The father and sons reunited after a while of being apart. They all looked happy. Amanda let go of my arm and went over to her husband and started to massage his shoulders. I went over to my mates and sat in the middle of them, only to find Edwin hands on my waist to bring me onto his lap. Evan took my hand into his and kissed it, smiling. I started to blush at the affection they gave me in front of their parents. I buried my head in Edwin's shoulder and heard the king chuckle. Take her to your room, sons. Show her around a bit. I'm sure your mother did more talking than showing her around, he said, making his wife slap his arm lightly and laugh. We started to get up. Nice to meet you, Chameleia. Call me Raymond or Ray, he said, standing up, embracing me into a warm hug. My mates had the brightest smiles. He released me and smiled. My mates took my hand and we walked out of the room. I like it here, I said with a smile. They looked overjoyed. That's great, Leah. I have ordered your dress to come for tomorrow morning. You will get it fitted and adjusted, but don't worry much. Your mother gave me your measurements from the last ball. Evan said. I was not frightened for whatever dress he had bought, since he had a great fashion sense. Are you tired? You look a bit overwhelmed, Edwin said. I smiled at him. I'm just a bit tired. Can we spend the rest of the time in bed? I asked. Sure, babe, but we will have to go down for dinner, Edwin said. After walking around for a while, I was trying to remember where everything was as I passed them. I am sure this place was more than triple the size of the English palace. It will surely be hard to get around. We were on the top floor, which had the biggest room in the whole house. They opened a large wooden door, and I looked around the room that would be mine. The room was extremely large. I walked around a bit and saw traces of my mates. I went into the bathroom and found a large shower and a tub which could easily be compared to a jacuzzi. The bathroom walls were covered with glass, which became frosted and then became a mirror with the touch of a button. I walked back into the room and found 3 walk-in closets of different sizes. The biggest is yours. We need to go shopping. Edwin, or Evan, said. I was too engaged in my surroundings to take notice. I explored the room for a while. I found myself being lifted up and placed onto a soft bed. I sighed. Enough, let's just relax, Evan said. Kissing my lips gently, they removed my clothes and placed me in more comfortable ones. They then did the same for themselves, and then lie down next to me. What is going to happen tomorrow? Will everything change? I asked them. They placed my hand in theirs and kissed it softly. Tomorrow, our father will hand us the crown. You will be our Luna, Evan said. We have mated, which gives us right to the throne, but we need our father to resign. Then we will gain the power. We will be stronger, Edwin said. His thumbs rubbed over my hands, keeping me comfortable, but their touch just sent my mind crazy. I could not think. They both realized this. Evan captured my lips and Edwin kissed my neck. The hands wrapped all over my body, sending electricity wherever they touched. I moaned and scarfed my hands on Evan's back to hear him moan. I placed my head on his chest and they just held me as I started to drift away. Kisses were being placed on my lips, soft ones on mine. I didn't want to move. I just wanted to enjoy this moment. Unfortunately, my mates didn't feel the same way and sensed me waking up. Leah, it's dinner time. We will be going out tonight since the chef is busy preparing for tomorrow, Evan said into my ears. I snuggled more into Edwin, who was in front of me, willing the sleep to take me back. Was all I could let out. I didn't want to move from this spot and talking would wake me up further. Why do I want to give in to her? Edwin asked Evan, making him laugh. Why not? Evan asked him back. Because Mum wants out for dinner as a family, Edwin said, back in a stroppy voice, making me giggle. That's exactly why. Shh, finally quiet. They were letting me get back to sleep. Evan. Van. Ann was all I could say. He was tickling my sides. I was trying to find a way of escape. Edwin. I tried calling out for help in between my laughter. I'm up, I shouted. At the tickling stopped. I felt soft lips on my own and inhaled the smell of Evan. When he let me out of his grip, I remembered to breathe. I slapped his arm as if to discipline him, but he only chuckled. Go have a shower, Edwin said. I started to get up over him and kissed him. He moaned and felt goosebumps. When I pulled back, I smiled and continued to the bathroom, swaying my hips. You coming? I asked them both. They were at my sides in seconds, making me giggle. They undressed me. Evan passed his hands gently in my hair while the water beat our skin. Edwin took care of my body, washing me gently in every part. They then both dried me, making me giggle throughout. I walked out of the bathroom with them behind me. I went into the walk-in wardrobe and found all the few clothes I had in there. "Don't worry, we will take you shopping soon," Evan told me. "Okay," I said with a smile. "What shall I wear?" Evan came over to me and stood behind me, holding my waist and looking into the walk-in wardrobe, scanning everything in there. His hands on my waist clouded up my mind a bit. I was still in lingerie, and he had his boxers on. "That one," he said, walking over to a black dress. It was simple, fitting my body in all the right ways and above my knees. He handed it to me. I placed a kiss on his cheek and thanked him. After we were all dressed in a formal code, we exited the room. My hand in theirs, we walked around for a while until we met the stairs. At the bottom was Kath and her mate, Luke. They were both smiling brightly at us. We walked down the stairs and I released from their hold to hug Kath. She smiled at me. "Enjoying your new home?" she asked me. "Although you did not see much of it, did you?" she asked with a wink, and then she thought about what she said. Realizing she was talking about her brothers, she shuddered, making me laugh. "No, I did not," I told her with a smug look, winking at her. I heard Evan and Edwin talk to Luke. They must be talking things out. Then I heard threats and shocked. "Have they always been this? Protective?" I asked her in a whisper. "Yes, don't worry about us. They will sort it out soon because they are guys. Then threats will come. They will do a guy handshake, finally greeting each other after being apart. Then they will join us," she told me in a whisper. The next thing I knew, the threats were finished. They gave each other a guy handshake, causally talking about what they have missed, laughing and smiling. "Are you ready to go?" they asked at the same time. I looked at Kath and we both burst out laughing at her correct prediction, as I can hear she whispered, "I knew it." "Welcome home," she said to me and took Luke's hand. Evan and Edwin came over and took mine, leading us into the limo. "Where are we eating tonight then?" I asked, leaning onto Evan's shoulder, closing my eyes. "You'll see my love," Edwin said, making me shiver when he said love. I smiled and waited. It was a while when we reached the restaurant. I just took in the scenery all around us. The lights reminded me of the pictures I've seen of London, but there were more greenery than you would ever seen in London City. We were in the middle of the city. The restaurant was grand. I could not believe where I come from. From what I was to this. I felt as if someone was finally on my side. I no longer had pain in my life, but mates who loved me. As if sensing my thoughts, they both took my hands and kissed that spot. Their touch wanted me to just drive back home. Mother and father should be inside. "Ready?" Evan said to me. "As I'll ever be." "And ever is," I said with a smile. We walked through the restaurant. The limo drove away to park somewhere. There were cameras everywhere, but inside, no cameras were allowed. They took my hand in their strong yet soft ones. I smiled at the way they brought comfort to my body and heart. We walked in together, ignoring the lights. When we walked in, a waiter led us to the table. Kath was behind us with Luke, being quiet and talking softly amongst them. We arrived at the table where Amanda and Raymond were. They stood up and smiled. Evan pulled my chair out and Edwin held my hand and we sat down along together. "Kath, how was your time in England?" her father asked her. "It was fine, Dad. I went shopping and the ball was great," she answered. I could tell she was a daddy's girl. "The pictures came out beautifully," Amanda exclaimed. "I wish to be there." "Me too. You looked beautiful," Luke said to Kath, making her blush. Evan and Edwin gave him a stern look. Their protectiveness was so cute. "It was a wonderful night." "Indeed, very eventful," Evan and Edwin said, making me blush. "That was the night we mated. Trust them to bring it up in a subtle way." I felt a hand on my thigh and looked up to see a smirking Edwin. They did that on purpose. The rest of the dinner was beautiful, and I felt full, but not overfilled. We were exiting the restaurant. "We will be home soon," Edwin told his mother and father. I was confused. "Where are we going?" They both took my hand, and we walked down the roads. The town was not so busy. It was about 6, and the sun was still slightly on the horizon. I was enjoying the moment of scenery. I'm glad they took me here. "Wow, this is so beautiful. Are there many humans here?" I asked, since this was Greenville. It was owned by the king and queen of the werewolf world. This question has been on my mind. "More than you can imagine." "Well, the human world and werewolf are coming together slowly," Edwin started. "We are all going to be able to live in unity. This will soon be in place. No hunters, no harm. We will show them how. We are not the monsters that they show in books and television programs. This is what my father has been working on. We have been transitioning into this mindset. It would not take much longer. Many wolves have human mates. Some choose to tell their mates, some do not, in order to live a normal life. Secrets between mates never work. The humans need to know of our existence. We need to live together in unity, need to protect each other. Evan finished. I loved the idea. That sounds great. Everything will change for the better, I said. They smiled brightly at my view, the fact that I agrees with them. I was followed yesterday by a hunter. Really hope we could rid kind of thing forever. We stopped. We were in front of a fountain, lit up with colourful lights and water pumped up high and fell softly down. We were in the town centre, people walking everywhere, with a sense of calmness in their demeanour. Thank you, I told them. For what? Edwin asked. I saw confusion in Evan's face. Saving me. Edwin took my face in his soft hands and kissed my lips softly. Evan took my hand and kissed my fingertips, giving me goosebumps and filling me with warmth. I love you. I told them, I love you too. They said in sync. They took my hand and we walked to the road where the limo was. We went in and I sighed. This was all I ever wanted. Chapter 16. I was in someone's arms. They were holding me from behind. I was slipping into consciousness. Someone was holding my face in their hands and placed a soft kiss. They did not move their lips until I responded. I was fighting hard not to, but I failed. Their soft ones started to move with mine, and then they pulled away, making me growl. Ease, I said under my breath, making them chuckle. Wake up, babe, Evan whispered into my ears. I guess Edwin was the one that teased me. His voice made me shiver, and he held me tighter into his toned body. Leah. Edwin groaned, seeing Evan had given in. Today is a big day. Let's start it right. I grabbed his face to mine and kissed him. Shut up. He gave in and kissed me back. I started to move against Evan's body behind me. I could feel their excitement. Okay, I'm up, I told them, stopping moving and kissing them all together. Ease, they both said under their breaths, making me laugh. What am I doing today? I asked them, seeing I had no clue. First, have a shower, and then our mother will meet you. She will take you to the salon to get ready along with my sister. Your family should be coming in for this evening. They will be at the ball. Your dress will be downstairs. You need to get it fitted before you go to the salons. I will take you to it. Then I will take you to my mother, while Edwin takes care of some things. Evan finish. I can't wait, but cannot help thinking it is going to be a long day. I said, burying my head in Edwin's shoulder, tightening Evan's arms around me, if it was possible. Don't worry, just take it as it comes along, Evan said, his warm breath on my exposed neck. By the end of the day, you will be our Luna and Queen, Edwin said, raising my lips to his once again. I shivered. And you, my kings, I said with a smile. Join me in the shower, I ordered them. We all had alpha blood in us, but they did not argue with my order. Instead, Evan got up and carried a giggling me, while Edwin opened the door. After the long shower, Evan picked out what I should wear, as usual. Edwin. They were both dressed casual, formal. Edwin gave me a kiss goodbye. I'll see you before the ball. Unfortunately, I wish we could spend the whole day together, he said, making me smile. Love you, I told him, giving him a peck on the lips. Evan took my hands. Then he took me to a room on the same floor as our bedroom. The mirrors covered the walls, makeup everywhere, along with whatever was needed to get ready. I saw his mother there, and he left me in her hands, not before giving me a toe-curling kiss, making me blush because it was in front of his mother. Then he kissed my blazing cheeks, chuckling at me. Oh, I remember those days. Well, it's still like that now, Amanda said, trailing off, leaving me smiling at the look she still had for her husband. Ready for the day ahead? She asked. Yes, let's get this day on the road, I said, smiling. Good, this is Wendy. She is here to get the dress fitted right on you. You are the last one. Me and Kath has had our dress fitted. That's when I noticed a young woman in the room. She was pretty. She started to walk towards us. She bowed her head at me. Nice to meet you, Leah. Your dress is in the behind the curtains. You can go try it on and come out. I will see what needs doing, she said with a smile. Okay, I said, going into the curtains to the room the other side. It was like a dressing room. I saw the dress. It was beautiful. One fit for royalty. It had one shoulder. It was full length with no puffy style. It just flowed down to the floor. It had a belt under the bust. It was a jade colour, but the overlace colour was black. Evan surely knew what he was doing. I had no doubt in his abilities, and he never failed. I took the dress at the hanger and put it on over my head. It had no zip. It fit me perfectly. "Leah, honey, are you done in there?" Amanda asked from outside. I drew the curtain back and showed her the dress. "You look beautiful," I heard a voice say. My mother was here. I ran to her and hugged her like I haven't seen her in months, when in reality I left her yesterday. Everything was going by so quickly, I needed some rest. "You're here," I said, with surprise and happy. "Hello, Amanda, I've missed you." My mother said to the Queen after realizing me, "I've missed you too, Judy. How's Harry?" "Are the boys here too?" Amanda asked. "He is fine," talking to Raymond. And yes, they are. They could not wait for coming here a second time. So we got the flight not long after my daughter took off. Mum answered. "Is Patty here?" I asked. "Yes, we all are going to get everything done for the next hours. But first, you need that dress tailored," Mum said. They exited the room, saying they would be waiting for me on the ground floor, and left me with Wendy. I stayed quiet while she did what she had to do. "I am finished. Your dress will be ready at your return," she said after a short while of pinning needles where they needed to go. "Thank you," I said, smiling at her. I went to the curtain and changed back into my original clothes. Waving her goodbye, I walked out the room and went in search for the girls. On the way there, I saw my brothers and ran up and hugged the first one in my way, bringing him to the floor. When I looked up, I saw Bob smiling up on me. "Hey, sis," he said, laughing. "Bob, what's new?" I asked him, still on top of him. Nothing much. It's not every day that I get tackled to the floor by my sister," he replied to me. "I almost feel jealous," Ben said, laughing at his brother's situation. He held out a hand and lifted me up to my feet, leaving Bobby lying on the floor. He drew me into his strong, brotherly arms and hugged me. "I miss you around," he said. "I'm missing you too. Not that you guys gave me enough time to do so," I told him, laughing. He released me. "I hope you're looking after my Patty," I told them with a stern look on my face, making them smile at my protectiveness. I kept a straight face to tell them that I'm not joking. Of course, Leah, she was fine at home. "We met her parents yesterday, and they decided to move closer," Bobby said on his feet. "Good. I have to go now. I'll see you at tonight," I told them. I ran down the rest of the stairs to see the girls talking to each other. There was Amanda, my mother, Kath, and Patty. My mother turned to me. "You ready?" "Yes, Mum," I said. "Hey, Patty." I threw my arms around her. She did the same. We embraced each other like usual. "Damn, life is good," she said, giggling. "Tell me about it," I replied. "Let's go," Amanda said. We all went into the limo at the front and it drove off. There were conversations between my mother and Amanda and me and the girls. "So, Kath, when did you find out that Luke was your mate?" I asked. "When my brothers left. They were so protective of me and kept me away from Luke and any other guys. When they left, I met him for the first time since I was 16, and it hit me," Kath said with a dreamy look on her face. "Wow, I wonder if my brothers would have been that protective," I said, voicing my thoughts. "I always wanted a brother to protect me at school from those boys that shouted to me or slapped my ass. I wanted brothers to send them that glare that made them run. But at the same time, I wanted to have boyfriends and experience things I have never done before." I felt someone jab me and jolted from my thoughts. "You okay, Leah?" my best friend said. I nodded and showed her a smile. "Good, because we are here." "And how was your first date with my brothers?" Both me and Kath were interested in this little conversation. Patty blushed and told us the detail and said the day was ended on the flight. It was all new for her and me. We enjoyed it and were happy for her. I looked out of the window and noticed we had stopped. We were in a different part of the city too last night. There were shops everywhere, but we did not come here to do so. Okay, the first stop is the spa. We are going to get a massage and shave only. I booked us all in. Then we're going to go to the hairdressers to get our nails, hair, and makeup done. Then we will head home in time for the ball tonight to get our dresses on. You know the rest," she said, still in the limo. We all nodded and made mental notes. Then we went to the spa. This place brings me peace. As soon as we entered the building, we were called for massages, and then we were shown to separate rooms. I took off my clothes and covered myself with a towel. I've never done this before. I lay down at the comfortable table and waited. The door opened and I looked up to see a young woman come in. She bowed her head and introduced herself. That was the most relaxing thing I had done, and I felt the calmness with me even while walking into the salon. "Queen Amanda and guest come right this way." a woman said, leading us into a separate part of the salon. There were 5 women there ready to do our nails, hair, and makeup last. "Take a seat, and then they will get started," she said, bowed her head, and walked out. We did as we were told. The time was 5:03 p.m. when we finished. We walked out of the salon. Everyone looked perfect, and I could not wait to see our mates' expressions. We went home through the back door. Guests were arriving, and we could not risk getting seen. We walked around, everyone going to their rooms where their dresses would be. I walked into mine to see my mates half-dressed. "How was your day? Hope our mother did not drain you," Evan said with a wide smile, placing a kiss on my lips. "It was good. We relaxed." I said to them, "Are you sure you relaxed?" "Knowing my mother, she dragged you from one place to the next," Edwin said, laughing. "Nope, I had fun with my girls," I said with a smile. "Good, because you look beautiful and radiant," he said with a smile on his face. I reached up to kiss his soft lips. When he pulled back, I growled, making him laugh at my expense. "You need help getting into your dress?" he asked me. "Nope, I'm fine," I said, trying to being independent. "If you say so," he said, chuckling. What was I that dependent? I went to my walk-in wardrobe to see my shoes and dress in front of me. I unzipped the dress from the bag and stepped into it. I put my arm through one shoulder, doing good so far, and then I put my heels on. Then I noticed I needed to be zipped up. Trying all the angles I could to do so, I only got it up halfway. I let out a frustrated sigh. "Can someone zip me up, please?" I said, pouting, making them laugh at me again. Edwin came over, laughing to himself. "Told you," he said, placing a kiss on my pouty lips. I rolled my eyes. "Just zip me," I said. "Yes, Mum." He saluted, making me shiver. Damn. I wish he could repeat that. "What did you say?" I asked him, wanting to hear him repeat it. "Yes, Mum," he said in a deeper, more inviting voice. I closed my eyes for a few seconds, then opened them and saw him smirking, knowing the effect it had on me. I ignored it, even though it was illegal to have such a good fake smile on a man's face, and I turned my back to him and asked him to zip me up. The current from his arm is the pass, all the way to the base of my neck, the end of the zipper. He moved my hair to one side to get close to me, and when he was finished, he kissed his mark on my neck, leaving me gasping and falling back into his chest. His arm seized me. Evan came over all dressed and took my hand, steadying me. "Are you ready to go?" he asked. All I could do was nod. They were both handsome, wearing grey suits and jade-coloured ties. They noticed me checking. They were doing the same to me. "You look beautiful, Leah. We are lucky to have you," they said, placing a kiss on the hand they held. "As do you, my soon-to-be kings. Handsome, that is," I told them, smiling at them. We walked out of the room and down to where the stairs were. "You ready to meet Greenville?" they asked me. "Ready as I'll ever be." Chapter 17. We held hands all together. Everyone was at the bottom of the stairs, watched as we entered into their view. They stayed quiet. My jade dress, matching with Evan and Edwin's ties, drew everyone's attention. It sent a message even before they knew the details. I held my head up and smiled, while Edwin and Evan looked happy to be home. They both came by a squeeze on the hand in reassurance as they felt my emotions through the bond. The silence in the room was both calming and unnerving. My high heels clicked as we took each step with grace. There are several cameras inside, but only a few best capture the moment. When we get to the bottom of the stairs, we walk into the dining room, where everyone eats first. As we sat down at the front table, everyone followed us in silence, our parents not far behind. Everyone sat down in their assigned places and began to talk to those around them. I used that time to take a deep breath. I looked left and right and saw Evan and Edwin both looking at me. "You handled that good," Evan said through the bond, making me smile. "You think so?" I said back, through the bond. Speaking out loud will be breaking the silence of the room. "No one could have done it better," Edwin said, leaning to place a kiss on my cheek, which did not go unnoticed, making me blush. I looked around the table and found my family, including Patty, she is part of my family now, and my mate's family, including Luke, as beta and mate to Kath. Everyone had smiles on their faces. I could not help but smile back. I glanced around the room to see kings and queens of countries, both were and humans, famous werewolves. The large room with such decor, this was an extraordinary occasion. I was becoming queen. And my mates, kings. The food was served. This was no time for talking. The announcements will come later on. And all I could think about was only having one meal today. I was hungry, yet ate elegantly. Well, I hope I accomplished that. When everyone was done, all the courses of the meal, the king and queen stood up. The whole room went silent. This is a memorable moment in our history. He started with his voice booming through the silent room. Years ago, after meeting my mate Amanda, I was no longer the lonely, filled-in world with people who wanted me for what I had. I had someone who loved me no matter my prince status. I knew the love was real. It was then that my father passed down the crown to me. I was king of Greenville and the werewolf world, he said with a proud smile on his face that anyone in his position would be wearing. He was smiling at his wife in all the right places. Not too long after, my wife had twin boys, my first children that will inherit the throne once they have found their mate and get bonded. And now, Edwin and Evan, I would like you to introduce your mate to the pack and the world, he said, nodding at his sons. When he sat down, they stood up. As you know, we have been waiting for this moment for a while, Evan said. The moment we would have our mate at our side. We searched all the kings and queens' daughters around the world, but could not find her. The special one, Edwin said. I was smiling and looking up. We found out that someone was making quite an impression on the people around her. People respected her presence. That's what we got told. We went and followed our instincts to find the most beautiful girl. She captured us straight away. The pain in her eyes of hardship drew us in. We knew the hard times she had endured. That only made us love her more. This is Chameleia Maxwell, Princess of England. Evan finished. They held out their hands for me and guided me to my feet. They both placed a kiss on my cheeks, which made my heart skip a few beats. I smiled with them and held their hands tighter, not sure of what to do. Next thing I knew, the tables were being cleared away, everyone on their feet still paying us attention. Everyone formed a circle around us, and the room dimmed in its lighting, but everyone was still focused on us. My face most likely showed confusion. The king walked towards us, the middle of the circle, with a goblet and a blade. Instincts told me to kneel, and my mates did the same. We got to our knees before the king. He said a prayer to the god above us. Winds were moving around us as our heads were bowed. Instinct was the only thing driving me at this point. I did not know what to do, but I did exactly what I was supposed to. We all held our wrist out, our heads closed along with our eyes. I felt the pain of a blade cutting through my wrists, but it healed as soon as it came. We lifted our heads, opened our eyes. Evan took the goblet and took a sip of our blood, joined together inside. Then it was passed to Edwin. The winds grew stronger. It was placed in my hands, and I drank the last of the sweetness. The winds stopped. Everything was silent as I handed the medieval goblet back. The king then handed it to his wife. He drew the crowns from the side, which were carried on cushions by 3 little children. He took the crown from the boy and put it on Evan's head. He took his face in his hands and kissed his son's cheek. He then took the second crown from the other little boy and put it upon Edwin's head, kissing his cheek silently, wishing him well. Amanda came up front. She took the last crown from the little girl and placed it on my head gently. Welcome to the family, my daughter and queen. Chapter 18. The ball was in full swing. People in ballroom dancing and having run. I had turns dancing with Evan and Edwin, but my heels are killing me. I sat down at the edge and watched them socializing with their guests. Are you having fun? I jumped at the voice and realized there behind me was my father. Dad, I have not seen you all day, I said, standing up to have him welcome me into his arms. I know, princess. Or queen, he said, chuckling and looking away. No, Dad, I'll always be your princess, I said with a soft smile. Everyone would have to call me queen, but I was my father's princess. How does it feel? He asked me. I gave him a confused look. How does what feel? Being queen. I feel different. But once the blood is around my body, I will feel different. That's what they said anyway. It is true. You will get powers that no one else will have. You will have to figure them out on your own and with your mates. But you will be the most powerful queen because you are princess by birth, a queen by fate. 2 blood mixed is a gift never had before, he said. What do you mean? How do you know that? I asked doubtfully. It is your destiny, he said, leaving before my mates came to my side. That was the weirdest conversation I have ever had with my father. Can we go for a walk? I asked them. I'm guessing here was not the place to talk about this. They gave me a confused look but held my hands and led me outside to walk around the grounds. What's on your mind, Leah? The way Evan said my name still brought shivers through me. I thought I would be over it by now, something my dad just said about being powerful because I am double royalty. You will be a great queen. You will feel more in power when the blood goes around your body. It has to reach every part of your body before you feel the difference. Edwin told me. But what was my father saying? I asked. You are destined for greatness, Leah. You, me, and Edwin will lead us out of hiding our nature. Your strength is what will get everyone through it. Remember we told you about letting the world know of our existence? He waited to get a response from me. Yes, the night we had dinner. I said, nodding my head. Yes, we are not going to do it on our own, and we will need your strength to do it. As queen, you will be by our side. You will need extraordinary powers to fulfill the role, he said. I began to understand. They needed my full strength so that we could be safe to be who we are. There will be no more hunters, and that was going to be because of my mates. No, Leah, us. It will be because of us, Evan said, smiling down at me. That's when I felt dizzy. My legs gave way and I crumbled into the arms of my mates. I was knocked out cold. I felt myself slip in slowly after hearing the commotion going on around me. My mates were whispering in my ears, telling me to stay with them, but my body wanted to shut down. I felt my body shake. I could hear my screams, though I felt no pain. Suddenly, I felt calm, and the darkness was all around me. I started to stir. I was in soft sheets. I was alone in the bed and cried out for my mates. I don't know what caused me to do so, I just did. I heard the door being slammed. I could not open my eyes. I felt soft kisses being placed on my body, making me shudder. I felt them being placed over my eyelids, allowing me to open them slowly. Looking around, everything felt new, like looking at the world with new eyes. My body felt new. I felt new. We've missed you, Edwin said, rubbing his thumb on my cheeks gently. You've been asleep longer than we have. Everyone was worried. Evan said. Why was I asleep? I asked, a croaky voice. My vision was still unclear. You undergo your changes. You look beautiful, Evan said, making me blush. I blinked a few times to see two handsome guys before me. They were just what I remembered, but different. Their changes made them look more beautiful, stronger. Their eyes were still the green shades, but brighter. I reached out both of my hands and touched their face hovering over mine. They leaned into my touch, as if wanting more. How long have I been asleep? I asked them, voice filled with curiosity. 5 days. We woke yesterday, confused. The last thing we saw was when you collapsed to the ground. We woke up not knowing whether you will be there or not. We felt better knowing you were awake now, Edwin said. 5 days? Has everyone gone home? I asked. I did not get a chance to say goodbye. Yes, I'm sorry. They all had duties. But they have called every day to see when you woke up. Patty seemed to annoy anyone answering the phone, Evan said, shaking his head laughing. Ah, yes, that was Patty. I need a shower. You guys coming? I asked. They both knew I was too tired or fragile to do anything besides have a shower, but Evan lifted me bridal style to set me down in the bath after undressing me. They both took their time to place soft kisses on my skin after they had washed me clean. It felt good to be awake, to feel their touch. After the shower, they dressed me like I was made out of glass and held my hands while we came down for breakfast. We ate in silence, but a comfortable one. After they took my hands and brought me to the door, we arrived at when we first came here. Mother and father moved out to a nice place, near the beach, but still in Greenville. Edwin told me, as if giving me an update. When they opened the door, everything looked different. It looked more like theirs office, and not their father's. Leah, you gave me a heart attack when you fell. I already told your mates off, but you had no idea what went through my mind. Luke told me off, but then smiled. Welcome back, my queen, he said, bowing his head. Because he was Beta, he was almost like a brother. I laughed at him. How is everything going? Any troubles? Edwin asked Luke. Everything is fine, but your people all over the world wanted to know how you guys are doing. People feel the worst. You need to get out there before everyone panics, said Luke, standing up straight, speaking in a formal tone. That is fine. We hope you can update everyone that we are fine. We will show our faces. Now we need to go for a run together, Evan said, taking my hand back into the warmness of his, Edwin doing the same. Luke nodded his head. Have a good run. I'm sure your wolves want to get out, Luke said, waving as we went through the door. He was right. My wolf wanted to feel their fur on hers. She wanted that comfort, and my mates sensed it. He looked so radiant, Edwin said randomly. I looked up to his face and saw him watching me with a small smile on his face. Yes, I feel different, I told him. Still staring at me, we went out into the backyard and changed places. We ran away and set ourselves free. I used to be tired, but this one makes me excited and energetic. Nothing to worry about. Let the world pass me by. I feel my mates around me. We reached to a beautiful lake, just like in England. I dropped to the floor and looked up at the majestic wolves in front of me. They come down and rub their heads against my head and my fur. It gives me great comfort. I knew I had to deal with being queen. I'm ready. Once I had mates, I settled down. We ran the way home. We had a bath again, but staying in each other's arms. Water filled the non-existent paces between us. So you are ready, Leah? Edwin asked me, breaking me out of my thoughts. I think I am, I told them. Good, Evan said, placing a kiss on my lips. We are going out for dinner tonight. We would eat in, but Luke said our people are still worried about us. Edwin said, carrying me out of the bathtub, setting me on my feet. I dried myself and blew dry my hair. I put on some makeup, but not too much. I stepped out of the bathroom into the walk-in closet and pulled on my lace underwear. I pulled out a dark blue dress and black heels. This will be my debut in 5 days. This is the first time I've looked in the mirror since I woke up. I look the same, but not the same, just like I felt at the time. Little things have changed about me. I was drawn to the mirror and startled by the hand around my waist. You have been staring at yourself for quite some time. You seem to be spacing out quite a bit. Are you all right? Edwin asked, placing a soft kiss on my neck. I'm fine, I said with a smile, still trying to transition. That's good. We will be going to America sometime in the next few weeks. We need to start doing what we are destined to do. We don't know how long it will take, but everything will be fine, he said with a smile. I turned around in his arms and placed a kiss on his lips. Everything will be great once I have you guys. Chapter 1. I was sitting in the lounge of the palace, on my own, just admiring the height of the ceilings, the beautiful decor, or what I call my home. The glass window at the other side of the room went from the bottom of the floor to the highest height of the room. I walked over to it, my dress swishing as I moved towards it. When I reached, I looked at the blue skies, the children out in the garden, the trees. I loved nature. I loved it much more after I became queen. It's what I woke up with. It's my power, but I've been too scared to try it out, or even tell my mates. My hands were stretched out to touch the glass as I felt strong arms around my waist. The electricity that flowed told me who it was. Hey babe, what are you doing all on your own? Edwin whispered into my ears. Nothing, just admiring nature, I told him, spinning around in his arms and placing a kiss on his lips. Business finished? I asked. I have not seen them for the whole day. It was 2 o'clock and I was missing them. We have a short time to go still. We just wanted to see you and know you are all right. When are you going to go back to school? Evan said, coming into the room, taking my hands in his and pulling me away from Edwin into his arms. I lavished the feeling. School? I never thought of it, I said. You need to go until your graduation, Edwin said. Okay, I'll start when you enroll me. Sounds good. We will contact Greenville High. Okay, how long do you have left with me? I asked, knowing they will have to go back soon. About now, Evan said, looking at his watch. He placed a kiss on my cheek and left the room. I smiled and turned to face Edwin. Bye, babe, he said, placing a kiss on my lips softly and walked out after his brother. I watched them leave and closed the door behind them. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes as the sun beat against my back. I wanted to go for a run. I opened the door and smiled at the guards outside. I'm still getting used to them all around my home. It's been a few weeks since I became queen. Everything became better a few days after me, and my mates went into that sleepy coma state. It took a while to get back to my normal self. Everything has gone back to normal, and I've been guarded, but not to the point of annoyance. I understood that I was important, and all wolves will be sorrowful if any of me or my mates hurt. I understood all the trouble it would cause if I was not careful. I'm going for a run. Come with me, but stay behind me. I will alert you